Leger, give me a sleeper in terms of an edge guy that a lot of folks aren't talking about, but that has a chance to not only get drafted, but make an impact early in the NFL career.
Yeah, let's head out to Michigan, Eastern Michigan. That is Jose Ramirez, the defensive end from Eastern Michigan. To me, he's a natural pass rusher now. He is a little slight in weight, right? I think he's like 240, 242, and sometimes get walked off the ball. But he has a really good feel in pass rush. You know, Rick, you could speak to this. A lot of guys, they like to run that hump and they get past the quarterback and, you know, tackles just run them by. He has a really good feel where he always falls up underneath and gets sacks on the quarterback and even gets the ball off the quarterback as well. I believe he also was the defensive MAC player of the year this past year. So he's a guy that I think can be a better pro than college player. And I think he's going to go in day 3, but he has a chance to be a really good player in the NFL.
Is he Rick, one of your non-combine guys, or was he at the combine?
He was at the combine.
He was at the combine, and his measurements, this might be his all-star game measurements, 6'0", so almost 6'2", 249, 33 and a quarter inch arms, and he ran a 4.73, Rick. He's an Arizona Wildcat transfer by way of JUCO, now at Eastern Michigan, as Leger mentioned.
Okay.
Yeah, I think at the combine he weighed like 240, 242.
Yeah, okay. 6'1", 240 something, 4'7". He'll be a good college free agent.
That's what you think? Just
you don't think he's gonna get drafted?
Nope. $1.
Okay, Leger's
write that one down.
Bet.
I like him to get drafted.
Yeah, there's his draft profile if you're watching on YouTube. Thanks to Mr. Debo there. So okay, well, that's $1 bet. We'll see. Rick, DJ Johnson, edge rusher out of Oregon. You've been talking about for a few weeks. We were supposed to talk about him previously, and we got sidetracked talking about other things. So tell me a little bit about DJ Johnson, who you seem to like.
Yeah, no, I love this kid's energy and motor that he plays with. He's a little raw with his technique, but he keeps coming off the edge, and it's nonstop until the whistle blows. And then he goes to the combine. I think he's 6'4". I think he's around 250 something. Then he runs a 4.49.
260 was one of the offseason weights, also gamer combine.
At 4.49, and then he had 28 or 29 on the bench. This guy, when you watch tape, he was one of those guys where you just didn't want the tape to end because of how hard he played and how productive he was. And it was at the Pac-12. So this guy, I didn't know anything about. Then you start hearing some buzz about him, and he reaches all of the, I guess, criteria from a measurement standpoint. I know he's a little older. I think he transferred in from somewhere, if I recall.
He'll be 25 in October.
But this guy is going to carve out a role as an edge pass rusher his rookie year, and he has an opportunity to continue to get better because the one thing he has is speed, effort, plays with his hair on fire, and if a defensive line coach doesn't have to teach that, they can teach the technical part of the game to him.
So this guy, he's a 4-star at Sacramento, but he started his career defensive end. Then he moved to tight end in 2020, moved back to defensive end in 2021. So he hasn't had the consistency of playing at one position. I mentioned he'll turn 25 in October, and I had him as a very early Saturday guy, Rick. So early 4th round.
You're welcome because you didn't have him on the board earlier till we start talking about guys.
I watched him on December 14th while you were playing golf, if I recall correctly. I made a note of that as well. All right, my guy, defensive. I don't know if you guys see this on the rundown. Defensive end out of Nebraska, Oshon Mathis.
Another transfer.
6'4.5", 247, 34 7/8 inch arms, Rick, almost 35 inches, 4.74. Let's see, where did he transfer from? Do you know off the top of your head?
I can't recall, but I do remember he transferred in this year.
You're right. Played 38 games in 4 seasons at TCU.
Right.
So long arms, long legs. He looks like he can add weight on that frame. He has a bull rush can be a problem. And again, Leger, you can speak to this. When you have nearly 35-inch arms, the bull rush can be your friend. Let me ask you this, because I was talking to Aaron Taylor, the longtime NFL offensive lineman who played at Notre Dame, about the long arm bull rush. Is it a thing that if your arms are longer, you have better leverage for the bull rush, or should you be like short arms because like you can bench press more when your arms are 30 inches as opposed to 35?
Well, it's a combination, right? We're always taught you want to lock out your arm as quick as possible, especially on speed to power with the long arm. So, I mean, short arms is tough, right? Because an offensive tackle could put his hands on you before you could even get into his chest plate. But if you have that long arm, right, you talked about the length, would you say 35 and a quarter inch arm length? being able to get into that chest. And right, you don't want to come with a bent arm. I don't know if people can see this. You want to kind of come with your arm almost already extended. That way you don't have that much to lock out when you go into that long arm. So that's going to help in him when he rushes the quarterback with that long arm. The thing is, you know, he's going to have to work on developing getting off of that, right? A lot of guys, they stick in that long arm. I know we'll talk about Miles Murphy later. He's one of those guys. He's got to do a better job of disengaging at the top of the rush and getting and finishing at the quarterback.
So, Rick, Mathis played mostly 7 technique in college Nebraska, a little 5 technique, 6'4.5", 247. Looks like he can add weight and nearly 35-inch arms. Those all check the boxes of the right size and weight for that position, right?
Yeah, when I watched him on tape, I just wish he would pin his ears back and go. And I don't know what he was being taught, because some guys, and Leger would know this, that, hey, read first and then go.
Yeah.
Take care, you know, but if he would be more effective to me if you just tell him, pin your ears back and go. Don't worry about reading the run first and then going. So I will put this up. Debo can put this in the bet.
Okay.
That my guy out of our sleepers will be number 1 off the board. Ryan Wilson's guy will be number 2 off the board, and Leger's guy will come in limping at a.
Oh my God! I mean, yours is going in the 4th round, so that's not a sleeper.
Well, don't listen to what Ryan. He has no idea.
Of course I do, Rick. You know I do have ideas.
Right? Do we have quickly one more time for one more sleeper that I really like? Yeah,
but let me lay this out quickly, just so Debo's taking notes about the dollar bet that Rick's about to lose here. But I have Mathis as a late 3rd rounder, Rick's guy DJ Johnson as an early 4th, and I have Leger's guy as a mid 5th, just on my secret board that no one can see, Rick. So we'll see how this plays out. Who's your other guy?
I have Ramirez as a 5th, 6th round pick.
Oh,
but Junior Fielko, Rick.
Oh, that's Pete's guy
from San Jose State. I honestly think he could put some weight on and be more of a type 5, 3, 4 type of guy. Very productive at San Jose State. Was, I believe, Mountain West Defensive Player of the Year. He plays with his hair on fire, heavy hands, right? Needs to work on defining his rush a little bit more. But like you said, Rick, you can't really coach guys that play that tough and have heavy hands. So I like this. Where do you think he ends up going, Rick?
Oh, he'll get drafted late. He'll be before your guy from Eastern Michigan.
Everybody's going before Jose Ramirez.
Leger, it's funny you mentioned Fielko out of San Jose State. Pete, I think, has him as his captain of his Better Than team, which you can read on CBSSports.com every year. Pete talks about guys that are sort of flying under the radar media-wise, and he does a pretty good job of identifying guys. I had your guy Fehoko going ahead of Jose. I had him going a little earlier in the 5th. But I liked him. To your point,
he's surprised.